Great. Well, welcome everyone. I feel very honoured to be here as your chair today. I'm actually in Canberra in Australia, which is Ngunnawal country. I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the many lands we're gathering on today and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I'd also like to extend that respect to any First Nations peoples who are here with us today. I'd also like to welcome all of you and all of the board members who are joining us today. We do have a couple of apologies, which is Megan for RD for Oceania. It's actually just gone midnight in Oceania, so a bit late for Megan. And Tamara, Regional Director for Europe and the Middle East. And I think also an apology from Jonathan, who's the Regional Director for the United States. The rest of the board that's with us here today, I might introduce you to them as we move through the agenda. So I might, Rachel, if we could move to our agenda slide. Our purpose for gathering today is to report to you on our activities and financials for the 2021 financial year, answer any questions you might have about the operation of our association and the direction we're taking. And we'd also like to share with you the things that we're focusing on in 2022. You can see there that we'll kick off with the Chair's report, then we have the Treasurer's report. We'll also be hearing from Shalu, who's the Director of Marketing and Communication, on what we have going on there. Gerardo's here to join us to talk about professional development, and Chenna will be also giving us a quick update on what she has planned as the Director of Member Experience, which is a new role that we've created on the board. Also pleased to see that we have lots of our regional directors here, and we'll be talking a little bit about what's been going on in the regional communities as well. And then, as always, we'll have question and answer session. For most of the sessions, we'll probably take questions towards the end, but I am conscious that both Shalu and Shada have another engagement that they'll need to go to, so we might take any questions on the Treasurer's report or marketing and comms during that session. But before we kick off, one of the things that we know is that people like to connect with other people all around the globe. That's one of the great things about Zoom. So we might just head into some breakout rooms. In a moment, Rachel will be inviting you to join a room, and we'd just like you to spend 4 or 5 minutes, introduce yourself if you don't know the people in the room, or catch up with old acquaintances or colleagues if you do know people. And if you need a conversation starter, the focusing question there is what brought you here today. So Rachel, I might ask you to invite people to rooms, and look forward to seeing you in about 5 minutes.
And I'm afraid. Farhat, I'm seeing you. Hi, welcome.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good that you're here.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and everybody's coming back. Welcome back, folks. You're back. Good stuff. Good stuff. Julia, you're on mute. I was just about to say you're good to go, and I realize that you're talking.
It's Zoom. It puts you on mute when you come back in. Sorry, I'm just trying to make my screen. Right, how are we going? That was great. Is everybody back, Rachel? Okay, well, I hope you all enjoyed that. I had a great conversation with Mary Ellen from Wisconsin and Golly from around. So thanks for the chat. I really enjoyed it. So we might move on to the chair's report. So Rachel, if I could ask you to just give us that screen to kick off. At the beginning of 2021, at the beginning of every year, we normally have a face-to-face board meeting to set our direction for the next year. In 2021, we of course were in the midst of COVID, so we met online over a series of sessions, and I'd just like to thank Camilla, Annie and Cabby for being our facilitators. We also held a number of member forums to listen to members about the direction that we should take. And at the end of that process, we set some priorities for 2021 out to 2023. I'm definitely not expecting you to read that slide. We'll come back to a larger version of it in a minute. But before we do, I'd just like to call out a couple of things about 2020. 21, there's too many 20s in there. But first of all, thank you so much to the 177 unpaid volunteers. It's about 9% of our membership who volunteered last year. And it really is with the expertise and time and generosity of those volunteers that we actually achieve anything in the association. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. I'd also like to thank the assessor community for their continued support. You'll hear more about the amazing things that they did in 2021 when Gerardo speaks later in the session. I'd also like to thank the contributors of the book, The Power of Facilitation. I know we have a few of them on this call. They most generously are letting people download that great publication for free, which is very generous of them. But they've also provided people with an option to make a donation to our bursary fund as well. And in 2021, those donations amounted to $1,695. So thank you very much to all those contributors. That's a great resource for us to use to help members. I'd also like to thank our outgoing board members from 2021, which was Vinay, of course, who was our past chair, Farah, Jeffa, Gary, who's on the call, and Celeste as well. We hope that you're missing the early morning and late night meetings that you all used to come to. And we have some new incoming board members this year, Shalu, Archana, Sanjay, Tamara and Carolina, and they're getting used to the early morning and late night meetings. We have almost every time zone represented in our board, so it can sometimes be a bit challenging to find a time that works for everyone. So I really do appreciate that people often meet at very strange hours. So just circling back to the priorities for 2021-23, if we could go to that slide, Rachel. You can see there we have what we call 4 pillars. And those pillars, I suppose, are responding to the key themes that we heard from members in that session in 2021. The first thing we heard from members was that they value belonging, learning and credibility. So our first pillar is about delivering value to members. It's about events, certifications, and communities basically for members. The other thing that was quite strong from our members sessions was that members want us to accelerate the recognition and demand for professional facilitation. So pillar 2, demonstrate value to clients, is about helping clients to understand and see that facilitation is a profession. We have competencies, we have credentials, and helping them to make informed decisions about selecting facilitators. We're also continuing the Facilitation Impact Awards as a way of recognising and celebrating the successful use of facilitation, but also promoting that to broader communities that may not have worked with facilitators before. The other thing we heard was that members want us to be a welcoming and diverse community for anyone with an interest in facilitation. So our third pillar is about sharing value across the global community. And finally, we heard that members want us to be sustainable, responsive and efficient. And so that fourth pillar is really about doing those things. And I suppose as a global board, we see it that we as global, we do want to focus on seeing where we can provide infrastructure or, use our purchasing power at a global level to make tools and things accessible to local IAF communities and regions to help them grow and nurture the things that they do. It's a bit unusual for us to have 3 years worth of priorities. Part of that was just that the member forums generated so many great ideas. We knew that we couldn't do them all in a year. All of the things that we do achieve is due to volunteer effort. So the 3-year time span was really to help us cater for all the great ideas, but also to recognise that some of these initiatives would take more than 12 months for us to actually implement. So I might just move on to membership. So at the moment we have 1,951 members. You can see at the left-hand side of the chart in May 2020, when we're in the beginning of the pandemic, we changed our grace period from 30 days to December 2020 to help members stay connected during that very challenging time. I was just so proud of how the IAF community rallied and supported each other, helped people with expertise of online facilitation shared that knowledge with others to help them pivot. It was just such an amazing thing to see. In December 2020, the grace period ended, and as you can see, we did unfortunately lose a few members at that time. We returned the grace period to 90 days rather than 30 days, just in recognition that the facilitation industry has been significantly challenged during COVID, and the grace period is still at 90 days. What that means is that when a member's membership renewal is due to be renewed, we actually give them a grace period of 90 days before ceasing their membership benefits. I might hand over to Shada to just give us the Treasurer's report. So Shada, over to you.
Thank you, Julia. Thank you to all the members who've joined us today. It's really great that so many people are here. As you can see from the slide that's up there, the green indicates the sources of funds. In addition to membership holding steady during 2021, our income improved fairly substantially. You can see that we enjoyed income of $509,549. Our expenses were $398,732, which is close to $400,000. So we had a surplus of $110,817 last year. The income that came in constituted 54% of membership dues, 27% came from certification, endorsement, and membership mentoring programs, I beg your pardon, and then 18% of our income came from the Facilitation Summit. So we had a pretty eventful year, a year where things really have turned around, and you'll see from the next slide, starting to look up. The way in which the funds that we generated were used was that membership support and offer services used 24% of our income. Certification, endorsement, and mentoring programs used up 26%, and then the rest were distributed over a range of expense areas. There was marketing and FIA, which was a great event. We had two great events last year in the form of FIA and the Facilitation Summit, and both of those actually used 6% of our income. Credit card processing and bank fees used up a further 6%. We're aware that that's something that we're paying. We would prefer to pay less in bank fees, and we're working with our accountant on looking at how we can reduce that. And then the methods library used up 5% and regional and chapter funding 4%. Our surplus from the professional development portfolio will be transferred to the financial support program, and Gerardo will tell you more about our financial support program when he's presenting his report, but it's been great how excited he has been about that. Last year, we paid all the claims for chapter development funding, which came to $11,500. So it was, in relative terms, it was a much better year than 2020. Rachel, do you want to go to the next slide, please? Thank you. And so, as I mentioned about revenue returning to pre-pandemic levels, you can see the green line in the graph showing how from 2017 to 2019, there was something of a decline and then a very sharp drop early in 2020 and a fairly striking and sharp rise going into 2021. You can also see that expenses came down in, matching what was happening with income. And on the good side, our asset position was not very strong in 2017. And in fact, there's been a steady rise since that time, a slight drop in 2020, showing very good management on the part of our previous treasurer, Julia, and other members of the board. And then from 2020 going into 2021, a fairly significant rise in our net asset position. So we're looking good. However, what I want to point out is that we don't achieve these kinds of results all on our own. Of course, we have managing matters and we have other support providers who work with us. However, the results that we've achieved have been the result of new and renewing members. We had fairly good a new group of new members. In addition, we've had lots of volunteers, and Julia has mentioned this. During the Facilitation Summit, our mentors, our volunteers, and the effort that is put in when we have events. So, for example, even with FEAR, the spirit of volunteerism and the contributions were really phenomenal. The assessor community, really, they earn an honorarium, but what they give is far exceeds the value of what they do with regard to CPF assessments. Managing matters has been great. They're solid. They're our rock through everything that we do. Lindsay Sumner, who is the Director for Certification, is a great support and another pillar in what we do. And Kumquat, who actually manage the summit, have also been phenomenal. In addition to that, we've had sponsors. And our sponsors during the summit last year were InSync Training, KUFA, Butter, as well as CTC. So we're looking good, we're doing well, and of course, we're thinking about how we can do better in future. And of course, any questions that you have are very welcome. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Shada. I'm conscious that you do need to leave us soon, but I might just ask quickly if there is any questions for Shada on the financials.
Sorry, Julia, I can stay till the end now. The times were mixed up. So I'm here. I'm here for the last session as well. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We might move on to marketing and communication because I think, Shalu, are you with us? I think you're about to catch a plane. So hoping that you're there on the other end of the line. I feel like I'm at the Eurovision Song Contest.
I am, but just like Sharda said, there was a mix-up with the times. I have time to be here for the whole thing. So thank you very much for accommodating all of that and then still have me here. Very quickly, just before I get a thing on time. So everyone, I'm very, very happy to have lost my earpod while talking to you, but I'm right back. And I'm very happy to have taken on the role of the director of Marcom, from very able hands. I just want to say we continue to want to create impact, credibility, and pride through our work done in Marcom about IAF. I'm not going to read off the slides, but our essential idea is to be able to help other people create an impact, help our members create an impact. It's about establishing us as thought leaders, and it's about helping other people see what facilitation can do. So we really want to be able to be in line with our tagline, promoting the power of facilitation worldwide. And we also, of course, want to create a one brand image for IAF. So that's what Marcom intends to do, has been intending to do, and continues. Rachel, may I request you to please turn the slide. So 2021, as Julia's already started us off with, and as Sharda, has been a great year in terms of everything that got done. The outgoing directors, Gary and Jeffer, did a phenomenal job of ensuring that there was a quantum jump in the work that we've been doing as Marcom. So thank you, Gary and Jeffer, for all that. We're continuing to share a lot of stories on social media. We did that last year. We started that last year. We're going to continue to do that in the next as well. The summit, if all of you attended, and for those of you who are new, was a phenomenal session, 2 days of marathon good stuff. Yeah, thank you so much, Julia, and everyone who's shaking their hands. Really good job done there. The Facilitation Impact Awards continue to create an impact. We had great videos, we had great nominations, and we had great awards. I'm sure you can read up all about them on the website. And of course, the Facilitation Week continues to be our crown, along with the Impact Awards. I'm happy to talk to anyone later on if you'd like more details on what we did last year, just clarifying on time. We continue to want to have the ethos, the positioning, the communication, and our IAF pride in the work that we do for 2022 and onwards. Broadly, I'm not going to bore you with all that slide, but broadly, we're looking at recreating our website. We're looking at creating brand guidelines, creating a brand portal, creating digital badges, which are all great for members to be able to establish yourselves, establish your own credibility also. We are definitely going to be focused on establishing IAF as a thought leader, as the go-to body for everything facilitation anywhere on the planet. And everything that we do, we are going to be gearing towards establishing that. So for example, if we're going to be recurating our YouTube, we're going to be starting a new podcast for the global world, and so on. That's all related to positioning us as the thought leaders. I'm very happy to share this one-on-one with anyone who would like to. I just want to promise you exciting times for Marcom, for IAF as we go along. Thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to hearing the rest.
Great. Thank you so much, Shalu. I just love your energy. It sounds like you're going to take over the world. It's awesome. Gerardo, what's been going on in professional development?
So hello, everyone. This is Gerardo from Italy. So let me start this slide, give you an overview of what we've been doing and what we are going to do in 2022. But first of all, let me stress again the importance of the collective work we do in professional development. So what you see is the achievement of almost the entire assessor community, a lot of people working, volunteering, and making things happen in this portfolio, as well as must say, a lot of other members. So I want also to thank all the certified professional facilitators, which are mentors in the mentoring program, and also their role is also very important in our professional development, as well as all other members with a designation or accreditation or not, which have been working, for example, on the methods library, that also it's under the responsibility of the portfolio I'm currently leading. Let me also say that I'm at my 4th year, so this is my last AGM as a professional director, director of professional development. So it's also a way to say goodbye to the members in this way, at least from this perspective. I will keep on being involved in any case, but certainly not in this position. Okay, so what we've been doing. So first of all, sorry, just a quick overview of what is the situation of professional development. Currently, we have 550 members that are holding a credential. You see also how we break out this number in different levels. So we have endorsed facilitator. It's a new designation we launched last year, but we start to have some of them. And of course, we have a lot of CPF, and then we have the CPF recertified as master and emeritus. We have 7 endorsed facilitation training program, which are endorsed. And then currently we have 34 assessors in the community, and out of which 12 are process managers. In 2021, you see, we have launched an endorsed facilitator. Basically, we have started to assess the online for certified professional facilitator. Actually, the work started with the pandemic, so in 2020, so it has been, there was a year, almost a year of preparation for doing that. We have held a 3rd round of the mentoring program, recruited some new assessors, and also refreshed the website pages, which is almost an ongoing project for us, because we are changing a lot of things also in this portfolio. In 2022, we have started, and we are running now the first wave of the financial support program. We are currently assessing the applications we received so far. We have a new project for revising the CPF project, basically splitting stage 1 and stage 2 for who is familiar with the process itself. We are almost ready. We had some delay due to administrative problems, but we are almost ready to open again the mentoring program. So whoever has been asking about mentoring program, be aware that in the second half of the year, I am crossing our fingers. I hope we will manage to open it. What else? We have we developed the assessor web community pages on the website. So basically, this is the update from my side. Be aware also, as you have seen, we closed last year with a plus. So that will fund also the financial support program. So we will be running the financial support program on a regular basis for the next year. And this is at least my plan at the moment, okay? And so be aware that every year we will be offering some support to members for entering into professional development. And I'm done, I think.
Great, thank you so much, Gerardo. So Artena, as I mentioned, we created a new position on the board this year of member experience, and so I'd like to welcome Artena to give you a brief overview of her focus for this year going forward. Nothing to report for 2021 because the role didn't exist. Artena, welcome.
Thank you, Julia, for that brief introduction on the role and the excitement. I'm very delighted to see a very great turnaround for our AGM. I'm attending AGM for last 4 years, and I'm seeing that this is the first time we have a great response. I'm very happy to meet the IAF Global family over here. And as the portfolio says, member experience. So our focus priorities for 2022 are working out ways to modernize our membership model so that, we make it very easy for people from diverse sectors to join us, and we together spread the power of facilitation in diverse areas like corporates, NGOs, educational institutes, and what may have the students, the youth group, so that we can really apply facilitation to diverse sectors. So we are currently analyzing and strategizing our ways to build this model together, and I would be reaching out to your RDs and your chapter leaderships and through them, I invite your ideas to us. So in this year, we are going to be strategizing around that because that is a major change in our ecosystem. And then the second priority focus area for us is making listening to members as a regular activity, and stay tuned for more on that. Provide digital infrastructure to unleash active engagement. Yes, so we want to have a point-to-point connection amongst all the IAF members from across the globe. And we are working towards uplifting our website with the Director of Marketing and Communication, and also uplifting some of the existing channels that we have. Like in some pockets we have Slack, in some pockets we have Basecamp. So how do we, unleash active engagement? We are exploring on that, and we want to work more on that to create more enhanced ways and modernized ways to do that. And the fourth priority that we have for this year is making it possible for members to co-create, to learn, to collaborate through various communities of practice. It could be through our special interest groups, could be through cross-chapter collaborations, co-facilitations, and I also invite ideas from all of you from across the globe. So I invite you to write your ideas to me at memberexp@iaf-world.org, and I'm happy to meet with you along with your RGs and your chapter leadership for making a better experience for all of us together at IAF. Thank you.
Thanks, Archana. We might just quickly move on to our regional communities, and then we'll head into our question and answer session. So I think Benjamin may also be a late apology. So I'm assuming I can go straight to Canada. Rebecca, I can see I've got you there on the call. What would you like to tell us about Canada?
Hi, Julianne. Hi, everybody. So nice to see you. And hi, especially to the Canadian members on the call. It's really good to have you here. So our membership in Canada continues to grow a little bit at a time. You can see that we gained 5 extra members in this country last year. And what we've been focusing on are digital learning meetups. Our chapter structure doesn't make as much sense during digital life, and also because of the Canadian geography being what it is. I live close to the Greater Toronto Area chapter, and a 2-hour drive for a meetup is just not going to happen. But a global global attendance at our national meetups has been so fun. So we've had these national Canadian-run events about every 6 weeks, and we always get people from all over the world. I see some of you on this call. And so we're delighted by that, and would encourage many of you to continue with that. And also the active participation of our members as volunteers across other parts of the association is really strongly appreciated. So thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. Sanjay, I think I've got Sanjay here for Asia.
Okay, I'll be presenting the information on behalf of Farah, who was the director until I took over just recently. But the highlights from Asia was that members have been involved in collaboration events, not only within Asia, but they've actually reached out across to other global teams as well, or global regions as well, and worked together on various projects. Creation of Vietnam chapter was in progress, and it's also happy that it's actually got announced and formed as of about 2 weeks back. So that's a new addition into that. And the Vietnam chapter is hoping to do pretty large impact projects in Vietnam. And let's see how that goes. And meanwhile, a variety of online events have been keeping the Asia chapter busy, especially during the pandemic, because lots of variety of programs across the entire chapter was being run. And we were happy to see members from other regions all coming in as well to attend the events. And the highlight was on the FIA, where we had 4 awardees from the region. I think that's pretty much the highlight. On the members, membership particularly, we have seen that we've been not really growing very fast, but fortunately we haven't lost too many members either. So let's hope we can continue growing in the near future. That's all from Asia.
Great. Thank you so much, Sanjay. And if Ben was here, I think he would also mention that Africa was very pleased to also have a Facilitation Impact Awardee last year as well, and strong membership growth there and very active in the event. So we might move on to, I think the next one might be Europe and the Middle East. Am I right? Correct. So Tamara is not here.
Maybe I can jump in.
Hiltrud? Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, Hiltrud. Just maybe quick update where
Okay, yeah, Europe and the Middle East is again a very vibrant community and has been so in 2021. As you see, one new chapter was founded in Ireland, and David just had to leave, but he's actually heading the chapter and was founding a new chapter. So we have a lot of online events, and in different countries we have facilitation talks. We had different get-togethers, and of course the facilitation week, which you see mentioned here, and you see also the characteristics of our region, 67 events in 11 different languages, and there are many more. So we are really happy to see also on the IAF global agenda this how to make international, so language translation and multi-language things more accessible, because that is where we are struggling with, or what we have to do all the time. And also there was quite a number of awardees in the region, and I think at least Goli is here as well. Maybe some others.
yep.
No, I
Yes,
lost track of all is here.
I'm here.
Yes, Goli, congratulations. So one of the awardees at least is here.
Great. Thanks so much, Hiltrud. I should just mention that Hiltrud is the treasurer of the Europe and Middle East regional leadership team. So thank you very much, Hiltrud, for that update. Carolina, from Regional Director for Latin America and the Caribbean.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. It's so amazing to see people from all over the places. This is so great. So the highlights from our region is that we have some hosts in the Facilitation Summit, which was a great summit. And we have members participating in major projects, so in a global project. And we have two special interest groups, very, very vivid. So the Spanish speakers, they used to meet almost every month, and especially to share best practice on virtual facilitation during the pandemic times. And the Portuguese people, so the Brazilians and the Portuguese, they are all together, so translating the book. And also they are planning for some meetings. And we are going to have a meeting on Saturday about a professional development path with Gerardo, and it will be translated in 3 languages. So we have Portuguese, English, and Spanish in our region, and we are going to have interpreters doing that for us. And we are looking for having more this, so we can be more cohesive in terms of multilingual and multicultural region. That's it.
Thanks so
for
much,
me.
Carolina. That's great. And the Facilitation Impact Awards, you can nominate in English, French, Spanish, and Portuguese as well. And thank you to all our translators who were here today. We couldn't do that without your support. Megan was an apology for the meeting. So I know membership, it's the region I'm in, it's Oceania. Membership has increased slightly since the last AGM, which is good. We have around, I think, 90 to 100 members here. The region is actually scoping to do a regional conference in 2023. And I know they're talking about some hybrid options so that we can connect broader than the region as well. So that's exciting. And Jonathan in the United States, he's also an apology for tonight, but I know he's also focused on doing what he can to increase and promote the Facilitation Impact Awards in the United States. So thank you to everyone in our regions who have made all of this activity happen. And Jill and Rachel, we might be up to questions and answers, I think. So if people would like to put questions in the chat, we'll monitor that. Or if somebody wants to come off mute, more than happy. Any questions that you might have?
Can
There have
I
actually
reply?
been two
Also,
questions for Gerardo so far.
Yep, great.
Both,
Rachel, can we drop the screen? Thanks.
yeah, both to do with assessments. Gerardo, Mara was asking, are we intending to go back to assessments in person? That's question number one. And Hector was saying, when you were presenting the information, that the assessment numbers, the numbers of assessments seem to have gone down. Is there any reason for that?
okay, so back to face-to-face, we are not planning at the moment, although we have been considering for the future of going back to face-to-face in the case of very special events like big conferences and these sort of things. But what we have found up to now is that in some way the online assessment is more inclusive. So we discover and we have seen many more people also from different countries and regions attending to our assessments. Okay, so from one side, the online is more inclusive, make easier for members to get the certification. On the other side, we look forward also to go back to face, but in special cases. The idea is to organize a couple of them per year. Once we will go back also to ordinary conferences and this sort of thing. So this is the idea. In general, we are still struggling, and then I just moved to the second question, which is the number of assessment as, I mean, the number of assessment is almost the same. I must say what is different probably is the number of assessed people, because we assess online, we assess only 4 candidates per event, while normally we were used to assess 6 candidates per event in face-to-face meetings. So although we keep on more or less doing a 10 assessment or planning at least 10 assessment, almost 10 assessment per year, we can assess our capacity. It's 40 and not 60 while it was in the past. Okay, we are working on that with the idea of revising the assessment process, making it more flexible, and also a little bit, let me say this word, fair with the members. Okay, so make it easier for members to start the involvement and progress in the assessment also at CPF level. This is what I mean. We are also, as I said, last year we recruited new assessor. We need to recruit new assessor, and on the assessor on the website now we have this page for the assessor community under About Us, and also under Learn and Grow, which is the part of the menu regarding professional development. We have a description of the assessor role and tasks, and also there is a page where you can express your interest to become an assessor if you wish in the future. So if whoever wants to become an assessor can do that via website, and in this way we are going to implement a more regular, I hope regular for the future, but as I said, I'm stepping down from this role, so this will
not yet. You're not, Gerardo.
Not
You've
yet,
still
but
got
in
a
6
little
months'
while
time.
To go, yeah.
No,
and
okay.
It's only May.
But I mean, my plan, and I would like to see in the future, assessor recruited on a regular basis. So you can express your interest on the website. We are working now also to implement those pages. I see Teresa Ratnantong, she's helping me on this. Teresa, I will reply to your email. Sorry for the delay. And that's also important. Let me just mention 2 other things. We have also a big project. For me, it's a very strategic project. Ulla has been leading it with Martin Farrell in the past. Is regarding the methods library. We refreshed some methods last year. We are working now to make also the 2022 the some refresh, but also in some way to start creating more activities around the library. This is also our plan for the moment. Okay, and I think
thanks,
that's
Gerardo.
it. Yeah.
Jill, do we have another question?
We do. There was a slight correction from how I introduced Hector's question. He says he was asking about overall number of certificates delivered and sustained over time. And then there's another question from Thomas in Germany. So I don't know if you wanted to just change your response slightly, Gerardo, based on that.
Okay, so the other one was also important. By the way, it was an important information. The retention, the retention of our accreditation has been almost always the same. So some people prefer not to retain the credential. Part of it probably is also due to the recertification process we have in place at the moment. Some people doesn't really perceive the value of the recertification as it is, and I can also understand some of the concerns around that, not all of them, of course, but some. The thing with professional development area is that now we have set the different stages in some way, or at least we have increased the stages of the professional development. Part of the work should be done in the future is also to understand better how we link the different stages all together. So if you have been endorsed and you want to become a CPF, you start from scratch, or in some way the thing that you have been already endorsed make different the way you apply for CPF. And when you are a CPF master, for example, and you want to move to CPF emeritus, which is more thing to those members that are almost at the end of their professional career, what do you do again? So as always happens, when all this system was designed, it was working perfectly in theory for us, but now when we see the implementation, we also see that there is some room for tweaks and improvements, and we should do that work, of course.
Great. So Gerardo, you're the lucky one tonight. I think this next question is yours as well. It's the one Jill mentioned about from Thomas in Germany. So is there any plan to cooperate with other associations to accept existing certificates when long-time professional joins the IAF? So it's like a recognition of, other credentials, I think, is that question.
Not really. Could be a good idea, something to work on, to understand and explore. Basically, what we normally do in our assessment is that we also give value to so we ask to members to mention in their application if they are members of other organizations, if they do different things. So we normally give value to this. I don't know if other organizations do the same with us. So, I mean, that could be an idea for developing a sort of collaboration. We have, last year, we had a good collaboration with ICF regarding a research that they are doing on facilitation skills for coaches. Okay, so we have been working with them, and some of our members have been working with them, replying to a questionnaire and doing sort of things. That could be a good starting point to connect, for example, for ICF, with ICF.
Great, thanks, Gerardo. And Gerardo mentioned the work that Ula's been doing on the methods library with a team of volunteers. And Ula, I think you're putting out a call for more volunteers to help. Is it possible for you to put something in the chat so that they can connect with you, or can they connect with someone else? That'd be fantastic, Ula. It's a great piece of work.
Ula, you can also put my email if you prefer to.
Yeah.
Because she's very busy. So she's saying, sorry, I'm busy.
Yeah. Okay, well, or Gerardo's. And then I think there's a question from oh, great, Rebecca, you're in there helping Julie with her question. That's fantastic. Jill, any other questions?
I was going to mention Julie's, but I think that seems to be it for now. But we have a couple minutes left, folks.
Yep. Any other questions? Do we have anyone else in the New York area that's here? I think that's where you are, Julie. Anyone else on the around New York that's on the call that might want to just connect with Julie as well, or?
By my count, I did a quick.
Yeah, I am. It's Deb Seidman. I'm in New York.
Oh, hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
I was just going to say, I think we've got 11 or 12 American folks on the call. So I know that that chapter hasn't, or that region hasn't been super active directly lately, but if you have a chance to have a look at the chat, there's you can see who's from where mostly. You may want to choose to connect with one another. So I know Deb and Sudeep and Julie are all from roughly the same part of at least the same time zone in New York. And you're also welcome to join some of our Canadian events, because a lot of them are in happy time zones for you, because I'm in the same time zone, even though I'm north of the border.
Okay.
The north of the border. Is that like there's no life north of what?
It's better life. Oh, did I say no?
Okay. Any other questions that people might have? We've probably got a couple of minutes, like 1 minute maybe, for a quick question if anyone has any. We will be putting the recording of this session and the slides on the members area of the website. Please feel free to reach out to any board members if you have any questions or suggestions. I know Archana is keen to hear from people about member experience, and it's a new role. So if you do have anything, please feel free to reach out. You can find all of our emails on the website under the Board of Directors About Us tab. But if that's it, we might wrap up. I'm happy to stay on the call a bit longer as well if anyone has anything they'd like to chat about, but I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for joining us, and to thank all the board members for joining us, and a special shout out to Jill and Rachel for organising the AGM and harnessing. I think we're a board of 14 or 15 now, so it's no mean feat to get us all organised. So thank you so much for everything you've done there, and thank you, Rachel, for being the producer. And we might call that a wrap. Happy to stay back and chat with anybody, but thank you so much, and good morning, good afternoon, and good night.